Jackie, and I am here with Anson. Where in the world are you located?
I'm in Los Angeles.
Ah, that makes sense with the time change. So you haven't been able to really go to many places. How are you dealing with that right now?
It's pretty weird for sure. I mean, I live up on a hill in Los Angeles. You can sort of see if I point out, and it's definitely like there's no one on the streets. There's no cars. I've just been I've been staying at home a lot, like making soup. I fortunately have my studio space downstairs, so I'm able to work on music a bit and you know um, try to see this as somewhere between like a snow day and like an opportunity to really work on new music and just be focused on like a much quieter, smaller approach to life. But definitely very weird here right now. Yeah.
So how would you describe your state of mind right now?
Um, I mean, definitely a little anxious due to everything that's going on, but um, you know, I think as time goes on and I like spend less time just like frantically reading the news, I am increasingly just in like a more like calm inwardly focused state, which I think is really helpful for trying to write new music, which is sort of the point I'm at. I have a record that I finished and is sort of like ready to be put out in the world, and I'm starting to turn back towards new material and sort of the quieter state that it usually takes for me to like get there.
So tell us about that album. What are some things that inspired your songwriting on it?
So Keeper is definitely it's a lot of it is about sort of like sense of self-worth and sense of belonging. There's a lot of the songs that sort of address past relationships, but in a lot of cases it's sort of about like my place in them and where I fit in a sense of like, you know, yeah, I guess especially in conversation with my first record, which was really a lot about like one specific breakup and coming out and sort of like vast sort of life changes. This is much more about like how do I like how do I have a sense of my own self-worth? How do I have a sense of self-worth in my music and in relationships? And so the songs, you know, much like my first record, though, the songs often focus on like small moments or specific interactions or even like dreams at times. And I think that the subject for me is like a bit more joyful too. So the songs are ones that you can dance to, or hopefully people will want to sing along to some of them, as opposed to being a bit more somber, like Earthquake Weather was.
So you mentioned that you're also working on new music now, which I'm sure when you normally sit down to write music, you're not sort of confined to one space. But what is sort of influencing the things that's coming to mind now?
I've been listening to a lot of disco music, so some of that. I've been trying to, I'll put music on in the morning and try to like dance around and feel like do little daily rituals to keep myself feeling good. And I've been listening to a lot of like world music too, which has been pretty inspiring. I mean, that's always part of my music, but I don't know if you ever listened to Kim Jung Mi. She's an amazing like early 70s like Korean psych rock singer that's been really fun to listen to. And I grew up listening to a lot of like Celia Cruz, and I've been listening to her music a lot recently. So that's been part of it. And also I've been working on, I have a collaborative project with my friend Nacho, and it's a project called Elio. And we've been writing some new music from that remotely. But so that music is sort of like sexy, sad music, but there's been a lot more like house elements in the EP that we're working on now. So yeah, I would say like, strangely, maybe it's sort of like as a replacement for being more social or getting to dance out in the world, I've been listening to a lot more like music that you can dance to. And that's been influencing what I write, and wanting to, do something that you can move to and that feels joyful in this moment has been, definitely a thing that's been motivating me.
Yeah, we definitely need more joy in this. Not that we didn't, 3 weeks ago, but boy,
Totally.
we need some now, so I'll take it.
Truly.
A lot of bands and artists have been using social media, have been using streaming services to do like couch concerts and other things, what they call it. Have you considered doing anything like that to reach out to fans?
Yeah, and I think I will in the next few weeks. I think like right when all of this was starting, I needed like a bit of a cleanse because I was so sort of like immersed in the intensity of news, and I think feel like everyone on social media, there's a lot of like warnings to stay home and sort of like discussions about, I don't know, having the intensity of what's happening, or even some people like calling out people for not staying home. And I just feel like I needed to take a break from all of that. So like I deleted all my like news apps and social media just for a moment, and then I'm gonna like reintegrate that. And I think that it would be great to do, you know, like either shows at home, or even I've wondered if like in this moment where we're all like so disconnected, if like even just having live streaming of like daily routines or me working in the studio would be not just like about promoting my music, but just giving other people a sense that they can like tune into other people's lives, that there things are going on, that the world hasn't totally screeched to a halt, but instead that like things are moving forward just in a quieter way. So yeah, I definitely want to do that. I think that would be fun to do.
I like that idea. I think you should go for that. Do you have any advice for us non-musicians who are stuck at home in various levels of quarantine?
I mean, I have to say, like, the only checking the news like a couple of times a day right now has been really helpful, just because I don't think that things are evolving quite as quickly. I think that we're starting to like enter the more like long stretch of like there's not going to be larger announcements from the government quite as often. So slightly calming on that, and instead just like I've been finding getting into like really domestic routines, like I was saying, I wasn't joking about making soup. I was like chopping vegetables all yesterday, and like, you know, my sister lives nearby, and she's been doing a series of like little ceramic pieces that you can do at home. Like crafts are like super helpful, and I think that they can, you know, just remind you that it's like there's a lot of like inwardly focused things that are nice. Also, like just a like a little meditation in the morning, however short, is so crucial for me. Yeah, I recommend it.
You know, you're staying busy and you're being constructive. I think those are very good tips.
Totally.
I feel like because things are so up in the air, we have no idea like when we're going to go back to a sense of normalcy. That focusing on things like keeping busy and keeping positive are really important.
Yes.
What gives you hope in this very weird time?
You know, I do think that I mean, the hopes that I'm clinging on to are that there's going to be some like positive change around this. I mean, even something as sort of like obvious as the fact that, you know, living in LA, I look across the city and it's always like, you know, covered in smog. And right now it's not, you know, so I think that people just, even that people recognizing that if there are less cars and less planes flying, the sort of like immediate tangible impact on what you see and what you breathe is real. I think the extent to which people, I don't know, might re-examine their priorities or daily routines, I feel like is very real. You know, being forced to slow down so much, I do think that the extent to which I'm like constantly on my phone or constantly, I don't know, engaging in things that maybe aren't quite as important to me, is something that this affords an opportunity to re-examine. And hopefully there will be some social, you know, some socio-political shifts. I do think this is the first time that we've really faced a challenge as a global population, and you know, there are definitely some examples, including in our own government, of it becoming siloed and becoming about like only protecting our people. But I think that if there is a degree to which this is viewed as a global problem and people are able to address it globally, that will prepare us for a huge amount of global challenges that are still to come. So I'm hopeful that that sense of interconnectedness, that sense that like we're all in this, will remain after. I mean, maybe that's naive hope, but I do think that that's possible.
Yeah, I hope for that as well. Speaking of interconnectedness, a lot of concerts and tours have been quieted and stalled. Do you have any plans that you know of in the future that are still going on or still hoping to go on?
Everything's postponed. I was literally, you know, the last week I was supposed to, or I guess this week technically, this past week I was supposed to be on tour, and it's postponed. And I don't really know. I mean, I haven't been pushing too hard on trying to reschedule, and but it will happen as soon as I can be on tour. I totally will be, and I'll also be touring with my friend's band Harmless, which is a great project. But I guess I sort of feel, for me at least, that there's like more important things to push on, but I definitely think that as soon as I can be, I would love to be playing for people, and it'd be so nice. I feel like even selfishly, just like seeing people out in the world coming to shows and getting to like see my friends or seeing people that I've communicated with through whatever social media or however at shows would be so nice right now. I mean, I dream about it, but I don't know when yet.
Well, we're hopeful that we can hear more from Anselm. Thank you so much for talking with us today. Stay
Yes, of
healthy,
course.
stay safe.
Thank you. Yeah, stay safe too. Take care.
Bye.